Let's hear it for History Day.
Welcome to the 28th Annual Washington History Day State Contest. This year's theme, Innovation in History, Impact and Change, produced fascinating projects by some really energized students. Show convincingly that the experience of History Day is about forging a lasting connection to the past and therefore to the present.
I think this was the biggest research project I'd done so far, in my academic career, and it was really great to take something that I've created that I put a lot of work into and see it recognized in some way.
For a lot of us, this is the first time that we've done a research for something so really in depth and for a really long period of time. So just that, learning the process of researching and learning the process of putting something together and making your own conclusions about it.
This year's theme is Innovation, Impact and Change. And students in 6th through 12th grade pick a topic, and that's one of the powerful parts of it, is that they get to choose what they want to study.
They have 5 choices of projects. They can do a paper, an exhibit, a website, a documentary, or a dramatic presentation.
Opium, what's that? Opium's a drug, son. They say it makes you feel good, but it's got some particularly nasty side effects. One
of the things that makes this a cool thing to do is that you get to choose your project. And one of the kids said at the beginning of the year, if you want to do a good History Day project, you have to really have a passion about your subject.
We spend a long time looking at different topics because the topic is the most important part of the documentary, of the whole contest, is your topic and how it relates to the theme.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Museum of Flight.
I was debating which topic I should choose at the beginning, and I was thinking of maybe the guitar, or maybe the car, or maybe the internet, but then I started looking at the airplane.
I would propose to you that aviation has changed the way we live our lives, changed the way we fight our wars, changed transportation, changed communication, and had a profound impact on all nations by bringing the world together.
Aviation was an innovation because it's been innovated over time in different ways, like the glider, or the helicopter, or the rockets, or the airplane.
The effect of aviation on our lives has shrunk the world, mingled isolated societies, added a menacing dimension to warfare, spawned new technologies, created new economic zones, and given us a toehold in space.
The History Day process takes the skills that they have in doing research and organizing their work and presenting their work and ratchets it up to a much higher level.
I've learned about researching, and I've learned about making conclusions from a set of information that you've been given.
We learned more about oral speaking with our presentation category. I'm sure it's something that I need to work on, and maybe them too, and it's made my public speaking a lot easier.
Even when we go to the award show ceremony, I'll be even less worried than when it's like, did we make it to finals?
Yeah. Some of the technology that's available now has made research just so much more involved and compelling and more interesting for the kids.
You own the topic and you really become the expert on the topic, and so it's a really different experience. You don't really get the same experience in literally any other organized competition that I've ever done.
If they're doing an exhibit, they have to come up with the idea. They would have to design what it was going to look like, then they have to gather the materials and then put all of their information on it that has all the required elements and still keep it interesting and pretty. I mean, that's kind of hard to do sometimes.
Our topic is the Protestant Reformation, and it's basically how the Catholic Church in medieval European times split apart into the Protestants and Catholic denominations of Christianity.
It was very fun to learn about all of the different conflicts that happened during the Reformation, including wars, all of the bloody massacres.
In your timeline you use quotations. Where did you find each of these different, are they all from one source?
We made our display about the national parks because we thought it was really innovative, mostly because the U.S. was the first people to think of preserving land for the people. This guy, his name's John Mueller. He was sort of the father of the Park Service. He worked really hard to get it established. I went to Yellowstone this summer, and so far the process of learning about it, I think Yellowstone's still my favorite. All the geysers and hot springs, I think they're really cool, and they're really pretty too. But I really want to go to Yosemite. We think there's a lot of competition, but we're pretty confident, so.
The discovery of blood plasma was one of the great medical innovations of the 20th century. Composed mostly of water and protein compounds, plasma is the liquid part of blood that can be withdrawn from a donor's body for storage and subsequent infusion of trauma and shock victims.
I mean, as nice as it is to compete, the best part is really the research, in my opinion. You have to start with, preliminary research at the library and such. And then after you know about your subject, you conduct interviews with knowledgeable people on the subject. Any footage that you might need, videos from the archives, that sort of thing. Write your narration, just put it all together to make your documentary.
Trauma care would not be possible. Survivability after accidents would not be as high today if it were not for plasma.
The barcode is really unique. It has a lot of impact on our lives today, and it just doesn't get much credit for how much it does. We chose to do a documentary because we like filming. It also has been a lot of fun to compete with other people doing the same thing.
We wanted to come up with a unique topic that has still strongly impacted history, and so we decided to do the barcode.
With a person making a manual entry, they have a large chance of accidentally putting in a wrong number, which could cost many people extra money. On average, there was one mistake per 300 characters entered manually.
It's very interesting to learn about these topics that we're studying and really get deep into research and meet new people. And the competitions are fun because you get to compete against other kids your age.
The innovation of the barcode has provided endless possibilities to technology in the future.
They put their heart and soul into it, months worth of time, and it's the highlight of their year.
From exhibits to websites to history papers, they have to defend their work. And they see the judges critique it fairly and discuss it with them. They get tips for how that they could do it better.
There's space between words. It's easy for the eye to read your text, to follow your story.
I think it's a good experience to go in and be judged and interviewed. And it's just fun because I have friends who are here and we get to hang out, and it's a fun experience.
The music is kind of forced on your reader. You open up this site and the music starts blaring right.
In 6th grade when I did it, I know more about what the judges are looking for and what to do in your project.
I referenced your paper in my course recently in this past week on modern intellectual history because we were talking about Galileo.
It's a really fun thing to do, and I would recommend it to do for anyone. It's a really fun experience.
The title of our performance is Sesame Street, New Chalkboard for Education. May we begin?
Yes, please.
It takes them a couple weeks to write a 10-minute script and then to memorize it and then to make costumes and backgrounds and things like that.
Well, Lee, he passed away last night. He had a heart attack.
This is horrible. Lowell's a kind man. What are we going to do about his character, Mr. Hooper? We kind of got the basic ideas first, and then we kind of wrote each section separately and then kind of put it together at the end.
We need diversity. Men, women, young, old, black, white, Hispanic, Asian. Children need to know that you should accept and be accepted by people of other races.
It's like really hard to make a play. I mean, because you have all these ideas, and the hardest thing is putting it down on paper and making a script so that it actually makes sense.
Our viewers are getting so concerned about the little things. We try to, but we can't please everybody.
I know. This is what Sesame Street is all about. We try new things, try to be different, and try to include everybody, even if some people might not like it.
I love how our ideas like bounce off of each other, and how like if it's not a good idea, someone else will tell them, be like, hey, let's fix it, let's tweak it to make it better. So
Mr. Fireman, Elmo's scared of fires. It's okay, a fire is scary, but as long as you get out safely, it won't be as scary.
I know at the beginning I was like, this is so hard, it takes up so much of my time, but at the end you really look back and you're like, wow, I learned a lot, and that was really fun. Like, I just enjoyed this very much.
Redmond High School, Anand Ragurama,
Just like the passion inspired in us, like just the competition, like the Russian Day Award ceremony, and
Yeah.
but you learn so much from analyzing primary sources on your own. It's like it's teamwork, it's cooperation, it's work ethic, it's dedication. You learn so much in the process and recommend it to everybody.
It's just amazing. It's a really amazing feeling.
Yeah. We didn't watch any of the other performances, so we really didn't know about our competition. So
I mean, we put so much time and effort into this. It's just really amazing to make it.
It's really exciting. We worked hard on it, and this is my first time to nationals. Abby went last year. Yeah, just we're really happy that we met our goals and paid off. Yeah.
No
one from Prosser has ever gone to nationals before, so this is a huge achievement for us, and we are just like,
Everything we've done is thanks to my dad and their teachers.
This competition is great. When kids come back and they're just screaming about history and they're just screaming that kids have done it. And they're so excited about the projects, and they come back, and I think that, you know, next year they're in a history class and they're loving it. And I'm glad to see history become a favorite topic, and I'm glad to have kids who will go on to high school and they'll keep wanting to do it on their own.
You learn so much from it. You know, you learn more than you ever would think you would learn.
and you foster such a passion for history. I mean, I never would have thought, you know.
And you learn so many things, like watching all the other documentaries and stuff.
Yeah, it's a great project. I love it. We love it, obviously. It's our 4th year and we love it.
1, 2, 3.
Our day!